My bank called me today, and you won't believe what they said about the penny. What's up, everybody? Thompson Coin and Stamp here, and you won't believe what my bank said today when they called me. I was kind of blown away, and I knew it was coming, but I didn't think it was coming this soon. So, let me tell you what they said. My bank called today. Unfortunately, they weren't able to order any coins for me this week, but that's not the big issue. I asked if they had possibly any bags of coins, I could pick up since they didn't, order any coins for this week. They didn't do a coin order. And she said that, the bag of pennies was possibly ready or getting close to being ready, but she didn't know if she could sell it to me anymore. And I said, oh, no, don't tell me that y'all aren't going to be able to, order boxes of pennies no more. And she said that is correct. Unfortunately, they will no longer be able to order rolls of pennies. That is crazy. And what's even crazier is that's not the first I've been hearing about this. I've been seeing rumors online of different banks saying they could no longer order boxes of pennies. I've been seeing rumors online of, not necessarily, I guess, rumors, actually, people stating that the local retailers are no longer accepting pennies, and they're asking people to round up or round down, to the nearest nickel, I believe. So it's already starting. And I started looking online, doing a little research, and I just searched U.S. penny news, and check this out here. If I can get that on there. I mean, just tons of different, news articles here recently of, the penny ending, the penny's demise, leaving some businesses shortchanged. It talks about earlier this year, the U.S. Treasury Department announced that it was winding down the production of the penny, which long ago began costing more to make than it's worth. And then it says that this is putting some retailers in a bind, especially when customers don't have exact change for transactions that are not rounded to the nearest nickel. Because it says right here that some sites around the country which distribute to the banks, the Federal Reserve Bank sites, that is, and they distribute to the coins to the banks and credit unions, have already stopped fulfilling orders of pennies. And here's another article here. Let's see. This one says the penny shortage is adding up frustration among small retailers. So it talks about, consumers may want to avoid offering retailers a penny for their thoughts from now on. Let's see here. It says the small coin conundrum is a result of President Donald Trump's February decision to order the Secretary of the Treasury to stop producing new pennies, which it says it cost taxpayers over $179 million in fiscal year 2023. So that is crazy. It says because a growing number of those businesses report they're already coming up short on pennies when trying to make exact change for customers. That's occurring as several centers that distribute the coins for the Federal Reserve Bank have stopped making deliveries. So that's kind of crazy. I'm glad I picked up all those boxes of pennies when I did. A couple months ago, I was trying to get boxes of 20, 25 cents. And I got 10 boxes one week, 10 boxes the next, and I've slowly been going through those. I'm not sure what to do with them now. If I should just hold on to these boxes and hunt them later. I've still got a ton of pennies to take back. That very first shot is from my little dump box over here behind me from my coin roll hunting, and I just gradually, scoop those up and take them back to the bank. But now that I'm not going to be able to get rolls of pennies no more, what should I do? Should I set on these for a little bit? I don't think there's going to be a lot of added value to them because, Canada stopped producing pennies in 2012, if I recall correctly. If I'm mistaken, I'll post a little correction on here. But, their, cents have not really, went up in value or anything like that. As far as I know, I've still found, finding, Canadian pennies in, American penny rolls, like our friend Kendall Sands from up around Chicago. He'll send us a box or has sent us some rolls and stuff. And there was a ton of Canadian cents in there. So they are still out there. And I think, we've had billions upon billions of pennies minted. So there's still billions upon billions of pennies in circulation. I'm wondering, with this shortage, are more people starting to hoard pennies at home? Or is it just the Federal Reserve and these places like Loomis and Brinks, are they just, keeping the pennies out? I'm not sure what's going on. So let me know what you think in the comments. But alas, I guess ordering boxes of pennies like this is going to be a thing of the past. Maybe even getting bags of pennies. Like I said, I don't know. That's kind of shocking to me that they might not even be able to sell me the bags from their coin machine and everything for me to hunt through. So I'm not sure what to do with these final few boxes of pennies I have. I've still got, there's a partial box over there and everything like that. Oh, that's loud. Keeping some of my pre-82, my copper pennies. I haven't kept a lot, but, maybe I should start keeping a little more. Let me know in the comments what you think. If you're going to start, keeping a little more of your copper cents and everything. If you're just going, go on like normal, just forget about the penny, and if it's one of those annoying coins to you or whatnot. Well, make sure you follow us on all of our social media platforms and stay tuned every Tuesday night Central Standard Time for our weekly coin roll, hunt, and chat. Until next time, Thompson Coin and Stamp is out.